بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Welcome in the second session of the FIQAH, the fasting rules. Especially we are so close to the month of Ramadan, the month of fasting. And we explained before and last time about the meaning of fasting. Means that you abstain from eating and drinking and your desire from the dawn time to the sunset with intention, of course, not with because you have blood test you fast because of that, but you have intention as a kind of ibadah. And also we explain the advantages of fasting and advantages especially of Ramadan. And we said last time that in the month of Ramadan, the gate of the paradise will open ready for the believer, and the gate of the hellfire will close, and the shayateen, the devils, will be chained, especially the marada, especially the most dangerous devils will be chained. So you only fight with your nafs, your soul, and your shaitan, your qareen, the one with you, or the one companion with you. And also explain in the month of Ramadan there's great advantage that if you fast the month of Ramadan with a belief and considering the reward from Allah Azza wa Jal, your previous sins will be forgiven. One narration add your previous and upcoming sins as well will be forgiven, but this addition is weak, is not confirmed. It's only your previous sins. Also in the month of Ramadan, the person who prayed the night prayer, the Taraweeh in Ramadan with a belief and considering the rewards from Allah Azza wa Jal, he will also Allah forgive his previous sins. Also in the month of Ramadan, there is a night of decree, night of destiny, Laylatul Qadri, in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. If Allah grant you to pray in this night, or to read Quran in this night, or to do a charity in this night, we don't know which night, but it is in the last 10 nights of the Ramadan. If Allah grant you to do that, it will be like if you do ibadah, worship, for about 1,000 months, which about 83 years, if Allah grant you this Laylatul Qadri. Also, we explain in that between Ramadan and Friday and Umrah to Umrah, all of your sins will be forgiven except the major sins. Also, Umrah in Ramadan is equal to Hajj in terms of reward. If someone goes to Umrah in Ramadan, it will be equal to performing Hajj in terms of reward. Well, Umrah is a very important ibadah, and Umrah, Prophet Muhammad sallam encourages the Muslim to make Umrah continuously, Umrah repeatedly, each one other, and because between Umrah and Umrah it will be forgive the sins between both Umrah and other. And then also in the month of Ramadan, Prophet Muhammad sallam, as has been narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas, he was the most generous of the people. And this the month, it is a great timing of giving the charity, and especially in the month of Ramadan, which is the greatest time of the sadaqah. طيب. Generally, the fasting itself, other than months of Ramadan, has advantages as well. As we explained previously, that fasting one day for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal will make you away from the hellfire by about 70 years distance travel. Means if you fast one day for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal will make your face away from the hellfire distance about 70 years traveling. Also, fasting itself, there is a gate called Ar-Rayyan in the Jannah, paradise. This gate only for the people who fast only. This is more likely what we mentioned last time. One more also of the person who fast. Allah Azza wa Jal, although this hadith, some scholar said it is weak, but another scholar said it is Hasan by itself, by others, that there are three people their dua will be accepted. One of these people, a person who observed fasting. And the two narration, first one, Al-Siyam hatta yaftur, or yaftur, the fasting person until he breaks his fast. And one narration, Al-Siyam hina yaftur, means the one who observed fasting, when he break his fast, his dua will be accepted. Different in meaning. When we mention the first one, the one who fasting, his dua will be accepted until he break his fast. Means during his fasting, his dua will be accepted. This is one narration. The second narration, the one who fasting, his dua will be accepted when he break his fast. Hamza. The one who break fasting, who break his fast, while he break his fast, he make dua, his dua will be accepted. While the first one, the one who fasting all the day of fasting, his dua will be accepted. Which one you think it is good for the person? To have all the day your dua will be accepted, or only when you break your fast?
After breaking fasting,
I means which one is good for the person? His dua will be accepted all the day, of course. And this is the correct narration, that the person who observed fasting, his dua will be accepted during his fasting. Any time of his fasting, his dua will be accepted. How can you prepare ourselves for Ramadan? How can you start your Ramadan? You start Ramadan by have a repentance, by have a sincere and honest repentance to Allah Azza wa Jal, to prepare yourself for fasting. Also, start your fasting by be kind with your parent. Start your fasting by be good for your parents, by having a good relation between you and your parent, even they are non-Muslim. Because Islam teaches us that you have to be kind with your parent, even they are non-Muslim. But if your parent passed away, in this case, you have a chance still to look after for them by give charity on behalf of them, by make dua for them, by visit their relative and their friend who used to love them or stay with them. So these are great things. Also, one of the things that you have to know before you start fasting is the ruling of the fasting. What is the rules of the fasting? Also, before you start fasting, try to stop the dispute and the fighting between you and your brother. Now we start to learn the ruling of fasting. What is the ruling of fasting? This is the topic tonight, inshallah. What is the hukm, or what is the rules of fasting? Fasting could be obligatory, could be haram. Fasting could be haram. I will see now. It is unlawful. Fasting could be makruh, disliked. Fasting could be mubah, permissible. Fasting could be mustahab, preferable. Fasting compulsory in some cases. Ramadan is compulsory fasting. خلاص. Also, if someone did an oath by saying, Wallahi, I will do such and such, and he didn't do that, he has to compensate for that. First, he has to, if there is a slave now, but there is no slave, he has to set free slave. If he are not able to do that, he has to feed 10 maskeen food, 10 poor people, one meal. And also, if he don't have that, he has to give a dress to 10 poor people. But if he cannot do these three, one of these three, in this case he has to fast 3 days, either in sequence or separate. So in this case, the fasting will be compulsory. Then we have, if someone did a vow by saying Wallahi, or by saying I will fast this day, in this case the fasting will be compulsory. So this is the first thing, the fasting will be wajib or obligatory, Ramadan, in the case of compensation of the oath, in the case of the vow. Also some kaffarat, like dhihar, like qatlul khata, kill someone by mistake, also sometime fasting will be compulsory. But what about the fasting is haram? Sometimes the fasting will be unlawful, haram. Fasting of Eid days. We have, actually Muslim has 3 days of Eid. We have Friday is Eid, Salatul Eid, Salatul Jum'ah is Eid day. And we have the Eid of Fitr, which comes after Ramadan. And we have Eid of Adha, which comes on the days of Hajj. It's haram to fast Eid days. And also for Friday, it is Prophet Muhammad ﷺ prohibit us to fast Friday individual, because it's Eid. If you want to fast Friday, you have to fast 1 day before, means Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday. Or if you have a habit of fasting, like fasting Dawood alayhi salam, he used to fast 1 day and break fast the other day. But if it comes with your schedule, not a problem in this case. If it comes with one of the recommended days, like 10th of Muharram, Ashura, you can fast this day. But this is haram. Means fast Eid days, and the 2 Eids of days, Eid al-Fitr and al-Adha, and also Ayyam al-Tashriq. At-Tashriq days, it comes in Eid al-Adha. It is the 11th and the 12th and the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. This is fasting haram to fast in these days. Fasting makruh, mean dislike. Makruh means that it is not preferable to do it. Like fasting Friday, fasting Saturday alone. However, although hadith in Nabi Sallam that he said, do not fast Saturday unless it has been prescribed on you, means that if it's not prescribed to fast Saturday, like for example, it is one of the 6 days of Shawwal, or one of the 3 days of the month, or one of the Ashura days, in this case, it is not recommended to fast Saturday. But actually, if you fast Saturday alone, no problem, because Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal said this hadith is there is another verses, another ahkam in Islam which showed that you can fast Saturday. What about fasting mustahab? Mustahab means preferable to fast Monday, Thursday, 3 days of any Arabic moon month, 13th, 14th, 15th, or you fast, for example, the 6th of Shawwal, the 10th of Muharram. And there is fasting mubah, permissible, any day. You can fast any day. It's not a problem. I want to fast Tuesday, no problem. You can fast. This is the ruling of the fasting. We have haram fasting, we have wajib fasting, we have makruh fasting, we have mustahab fasting, we have sunnah or mubah fasting. Let us start by fasting wajib, which is Ramadan. Just to give you a history of the fasting in the previous nation. Actually, the previous nation, Allah prescribed fasting on them like prescribed on us. But how and how many days, which months, we don't know. But for sure it's not like us. It is not 1 month of Ramadan. In the time of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he used to fast 3 days. This keep like that until Musa, the people of children of Bani of Israel, Yahud, fast 40 days. and the Nasara add 10 to the 40 and they fast 50, and the fasting is different because they can eat and drink but cannot eat any living part or any living animal. So just you can vegetarian eating and drinking normal. This is for 50 days. But for the Muslim, the stages of fasting, it passes by when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ migrated to Al-Madinah. He found the Yahud fasting the 10th of Ashura, 10th of Muharram, and he asked them, why do you fast this day? And then they said to him, this is a day when Allah Azza wa Jal saved Musa from Fir'aun, and we fast this day to thank Allah Azza wa Jal. And then he said, I have right toward Musa more than you, and he start to fast and commands the Muslim to fast. And then he send a caller to the Medina that anyone who start his day by fasting, keep his fasting to the end of the day, and anyone starts his day by eating, he have to stop and then keep fasting to the end of the day. And this was a compulsory at the beginning fasting of Ashura, 10th of Muharram. After that, when Ramadan has been prescribed on the second year of Hijrah, then Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said to Sahaba, then now Ramadan is compulsory, and if you want to fast the 10th of Muharram, you can. Otherwise, it's only Ramadan. And then the Ramadan passed through several stages as well. At the beginning, Ramadan was optional to fast. If the one have hardness in fasting, he can compensate by feeding one miskin for each day, and each about one mud, which is a handful of any type of food you have, wheat or barley or date or any kind of grain. And then after it become فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ, and whoever attend or whoever was in the months of Ramadan, he has to fast. And then fasting from Ramadan, once you if you slept before the Maghrib and then you wake up after Maghrib, you have to keep your fasting to the next day. This was at the beginning. And then it was like we have now, you can eat and drink after Maghrib until the dawn time, until you recognize the day, the light of the Fajr. This is so far the stages of fasting. And then let us see the ruling of fasting. First, fasting start when the beginning of the month of Ramadan confirmed. And the beginning of the month of Ramadan, according to Hadith al-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, start fasting by seeing moon and break fasting by seeing moon. And if you are confused, complete the month of Sha'ban 30. This hadith is a clear hadith. It has no other meaning than that. The meaning here is that you start your fasting by seeing the moon, the crest of the month, and you stop fasting by seeing the next moon crest of the next month. But if you are not able to see the moon because of the clouds, the weather, in this case, complete the month of Sha'ban 30 days, and then start after that Ramadan. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in a hadith that the months in Islam are like that. He did 1, 2, 3, how many now? 30? Each hand 5, so 10. He make it 3 times. 1, 2, 3 means 30 days, or 1, 2, 3 means either 30 days or 29. So it never comes more than that. So, or less than that. So here we have mas'ala about the moon sighting. Because every year you will see a lot of differences between the Muslim about the beginning of the months based on understanding of this hadith. So there are 3 approaches in this understanding. The first one, any moon sighting at any place means that you can fast. Any place in the world who sees the moon, then you can start fasting. This is one approach. And هذا رأي الجمهور. The majority of scholars, means most of the fuqaha, said that. The second approach, each own country has its own moon sighting. And this is the opinion of Abdullah ibn Abbas. Why he said that? On the time of Muawiyah, when he was in Al-Siyam, radiallahu anhu, al-Fadli, the mother of Abdullah ibn Abbas, sent their slave, their mawla, Quraib, to Al-Siyam to do something for her. And this time, Quraib and Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, and the Muslim there in Al-Siyam, in Sham now, in Syria and Jordan and such a place, they saw the moon on Friday night. That means they start fasting on Saturday. And then after Quraib finished his business there, Hamza, after Quraib finished his business there, he returned back to Al-Madinah, and Abdullah ibn Abbas asked him, when do you start fasting, and when did you see the moon on Al-Siyam? He said, we saw the moon on Friday night and we start on Saturday. And then Abdullah ibn Abbas said, but we saw it on Saturday. That means that are one day late. And then Abdullah ibn Abbas or Quraib said to the Abdullah ibn Abbas, so that means that should we follow this moon sighting and then we count 30 days or 29 days from this moon sighting and then we break our fast? And then said, no, we will follow our moon sighting, and we this is what has Prophet Muhammad sallam command us. And the scholar understood what Prophet command us differently. First, command us to see the moon to start fasting, or command us to follow the moon sighting or your place. So this second approach, Abdullah ibn Abbas said, you follow the moon sighting of your place. The third approach, which is recently comes, some of the recent scholars said, here is the moon sighting is just a means to determine the beginning of the months. It is not kind of ibadah, not kind of worship. So that means if we are able to find another means that can help us to see or to determine the beginning of the month, like a calculation or like a prediction in this case, that's fine. In this case, we do starting the moon, the month by calculation. So there are three approaches. The first one is the general or the global moon sighting of any country there you can follow, or your local or regional. If you are here in Australia, some countries around us like Fiji, like New Zealand, this country, Indonesia, Malaysia, all this around us, so you can follow them as well. Or you want to follow any global moon sighting, which is so far, which is some of the scholars said it has to be shared in the night with you. For example, Egypt and Saudi Arabia is very far. And some scholars said it's very far to follow their moon sighting. If you want to follow moon sighting, you have your local, you have your neighbor like New Zealand, like Fiji, like all this country. In this case, you can, if you want to follow the global moon sighting or the neighbor moon sighting. While the other approach is to follow the calculation. I'm not here to say this wrong, this correct. I'm here just to find a way how can we be united, to find a way how can we be, because unity of the ummah is the purpose of the Sharia. Unity of the ummah is the purpose of Islam. Of course, the moon sighting is a sunnah to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and this is the command of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is to start your fasting by seeing the moon. But you have to consider if that will make dispute between the Muslim together or not, if that will bring the fighting between Muslim and break the unity of the ummah. Like Imam al-Shafi'i said that if you are in a place that the people following the calculation, for example, the majority of the scholar in this place follow these opinions, that we have to fast by the calculation. And all the masajid announce the moon, that the Ramadan is tomorrow, for example. But you think this is the understanding, and it's correct. The sunnah to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to start the month of Ramadan by seeing the moon. But here is Imam al-Shafi'i said, and this correct opinion, don't spread that to the other. If you want to practice in yourself, keep it in yourself. Don't try to dispute between the others and spread the dispute between the other. And if you يعني want to practice in your family, in your friend, if you close friend actually.
Regarding that share, you said like all of them are permissible, like you said, or calculation on like them global and local. What happens if your community, like let's say you follow the local moon sighting, and your community has boats, they do an Eid, they play the Eid day one, and the local plays it a day later, but there's a community that follows the global moon sighting that plays it a day earlier.
I know this issue. Actually, we have to be united. And the purpose of Eid prayer is to have all the Muslims in one day, in one place, to pray together to show the unity of the Ummah. So at least some of this party has to step back to the other side in order to combine the Ummah. It is not recommended to have two Ramadan days, not recommended to have two Eid days. It's not from Sunnah al-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to have this dispute. And Abdullah looked at the example and showed how the Sahaba responded to the difference in opinion. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, in the time of Uthman ibn Affan, they went to Hajj. And in Hajj, one of the part of the Hajj is to stay in Mina. Mina is a place where is a camp, or like where is a tent. If you went, you know this place, Mina. And then during these days, Ayam al-Tashriq, you will do Salah, short Salah. Means Dhuhr will be 2, Asr will be 2, and Maghrib 3, and Isha 2, and Fajr 2 normal. This is because you are in travel. But Uthman ibn Affan, his opinion, his understanding, Uthman ibn Affan, his understanding that we are no longer traveler, because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he did his Hajj, he was in Medina, and he came to Mecca to Hajj. Because of that, he shortened the Salah. But now everything settled now for the Muslim and all of the Muslim in Mecca now, so no need of shorting. And he prayed Dhuhr 4 and Asr 4 and Isha 4 normal. طيب. And then Abdullah ibn Mas'ud knows that this is not the Sunnah. The Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to pray short, 2. And then he prayed behind him full Salah. And then the Sahaba or the other Tabi'een was surprised why he didn't explain that this is not from Sunnah al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then he said to them, Al-khilafu shar. Dispute is an evil. Dispute is an evil. Means it's more dangerous. Then because of that, although it is not a Sunnah, but because he avoid the dispute, he pray with him full. The same here. If you think if the global moon sighting is more correct than the local, or more the calculation, but this will make a fitna, break the unity of the Ummah. The unity of the Ummah is more preferable than if you instead of fight with your brother. In this case, the solution is to follow the majority. Check what is the majority and follow with them. Ilzam al-jama'ah. But you have to know, different opinion does not mean you have to, that you fight with your brother. Right. Especially all of this in branches of the deen. It's not a major. We are not dispute in the belief. This is something in the branches. And this is a great ni'mah from Allah Azza wa Jal, that His Ummah, Allah Azza wa Jal grant them that the difference is only in the branches of the deen, not in the core of the deen. Our core are one. Our core are same. Ahl Sunnah, of course. طيب. So the first thing before you start fasting is to determine the beginning of the month. Then the second condition of the fasting is you to have to be Muslim. Fasting will not accept it for non-Muslims. It means that you have to be Muslim. However, if does the non-Muslim will be asked about prayer? Does the non-Muslim will be asked about fasting? Does the Muslim will be asked about the Hajj? The majority of scholars said yes, he will be asked. Although he is not responsible for that, but he will be punished because he didn't fulfill this requirement of prayer, of fasting. The third condition of fasting is al-bulugh, the maturity, to be mature. Because although the boy can fast, but to be a valid fasting, it has to be mature boy or mature girl. Means that he reaches the puberty age. Also, he has to be has عقل, his يعني mind, not a foolish person, not crazy person, or what called this. Also, he has the ability of fasting. Some people have the chronic illness, they cannot fast, diabetes mellitus, diabetic patient, or renal failure or heart failure, and the doctor advised them you are not able to fast. In this case, it is not compulsory on them, and then Allah forgive them if they want. It's not compulsory to feed one miskin for each day. This is optional, not compulsory. So first, you have the month of the Ramadan start by seeing the moon, determining the beginning of the month. Second, you have to be a Muslim. Third, you have to be aqil, to be baligh, mature, and of course not crazy. And then you have the ability of fasting.
What happens if you get sick and you're prescribed to?
Yes, if the sickness are two types: chronic one or permanent one, and temporary one. Temporary one, in this case, you have excuse to do not fast, and then you repeat the fasting after Ramadan, or you make up the fasting after Ramadan. No fidya. Nah?
What if you're sick for the whole month?
You have to make all the months after Ramadan. Since you are able to fast, the only fasting you can compensate, no fidya. Fidya only if you are not able to fast at all. Then, after we explain, also one of the things that you make fasting compulsory for you are not traveler. Because if you aren't a traveler, you have an option for not fasting, and then you can compensate after Ramadan. So this is the ruling of the fasting and the condition of the fasting. Sometimes you may, some people said, okay, I can fast during the travel. Because now the traveling is not like before. We can travel easily with a flight, and very easy. One hour you'll be in Melbourne, not a problem. But it depends on your circumstances. If you want to fast, it's okay. If you want to break your fast, don't fast, and then you pray and you compensate, it's okay. Because Anas ibn Malik said, we used to travel with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some of us will fast in Ramadan, and some of us in the same travel did not fast, and no one accused the other, no one criticized the other. Everyone accept this opinion. You can fast during the travel, or you not fast and then compensate after that, not a problem. Also, one of the conditions of the fasting for sisters, that they don't have their menses or the post-delivery bleeding, because there is, if they have that, they have to wait until they clean, and then they continue fasting and compensate after, inshallah. So far, the one who has excuse to not fast, but he will be responsible, like a kafir, he will be responsible after. The boy and the girl which is not mature, not responsible, and will not be asked. Also, the one foolish person, the one he lost his brain, his mind, also he will also not responsible for his fasting. And the one who not able to fast because of the permanent illness, he also not responsible to fasting. Then, after we explain the condition of fasting which happened before the action, then go to the pillars of fasting, which start by intention. When you start fasting, you have to start your fasting by intention. Inshallah, next time, inshallah, we'll explain in details the intentions. When we should put intention in our heart to start fasting. It is permissible to make one intention in your heart for all the months, or you have to make it every night in your heart that you fast tomorrow. We see inshallah next time, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.